Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hometown TCG. You guys know me, my name is Josh, and we have been so swamped with playing in local Road to Nationals, getting out at these events, meeting members of our community, and we're even prepping to judge a couple Road to Nationals coming up, that we haven't got a chance to look at the Tales of Aria spoilers that have been dropping all over the place. Now we know there were 3 channels that played for the right to reveal one of the cards, and those channels were DM Armada, Red Zone Rogue, and Kitchen Table TCG, so we have that spoiler in here, as well as the other 2. So big shout out to those guys for their event, playing those games and getting those spoilers. Congratulations, guys. That's freaking cool. But before we get into our thoughts on the spoilers, kind of how they're going to affect Flesh and Blood and Tales of Aria, and maybe even the meta, we want to talk about a couple housekeeping things. Guys, we got to 2K subs. Thank you so much to all of you guys out in YouTube land. And you guys know, John is kind of out in Hollywood on a super secret project, so we're going to wait until he comes back and we can all be in person, and we're going to celebrate with a big live stream, a bunch of giveaways, and that kind of leads into our promo giveaways. We've been mulling over how we want to do this, and we're going to be doing giveaways to our Patreon and our Discord, and we're going to be doing giveaways here on YouTube. However, we're going to hold 1/3 of these awesome Herald of Protections that were given to us by LSS, and they're going to be given away in the exact same way this game is meant to be played, in flesh and blood. Guys, John and I are always out there at these events in the community. We're going to Vegas. We're going to Cincinnati. We're planning on maybe taking a trip down to Nationals. We want to give these cards to you guys in person. So we're going to announce how many we're bringing with us. We're going to be giving away to you guys. We cannot wait to meet you and get these cards in your hand. So stay tuned for that. And finally, guys, September 3rd, you must be here. Big news. I don't want to spoil anything, but tune into Hometown TCG on September 3rd for some awesome news. All right, let's get into these spoilers. And of course, you guys know where we're starting. The big one. The Archer, the Ranger, Lexie Livewire. So Lexie reads Essence of Ice and Lightning, meaning you may have Ice and Lightning cards in your deck, and she has the ability, once per turn action, turn a face-down card in your arsenal face up. If it's a Lightning card, your next attack this turn gains Go Again. If it's an Ice card, create a Frostbite token under target hero's control. Go again. So there's a ton to unpack here. First of all, Lexie is an elemental ranger hero. Much like Chain, let's say, is a shadow runeblade hero, Lexie is an elemental ranger hero. So it looks like elemental is the talent. However, there seems to be this subdivision of this essence of ice and essence of lightning. Meaning, while elemental might be the talent, it looks like you can break up your elemental heroes in different ways, or they're locked into different lanes. So Lexie is using 2 elements, ice and lightning, and her power seems to interact with both of those. So again, it's turn a face-down card in your arsenal face up. If it's a lightning card, your next attack this turn gains Go Again. So that's pretty standard. If you're a ranger, if you're familiar with the ranger gameplay, you turn an arrow face up in your arsenal, you get to do something. You can only play arrows out of the arsenal. So it's maybe an easier way to give some of these arrows Go Again. It's a mechanic that Azalea struggles with currently. To get Go Again, you got to jump through a lot of hoops. So maybe this is a way to turn on, some automatic and guaranteed Go Again. But I think the more interesting piece of text on this card is, if it's an ice card, create a Frostbite token under target hero's control. Now guys, what do you guys know about Frostbite? Frostbite's generally not a good thing. If you're sitting at a table playing cards and I can give myself Frostbite, or I can give my opponent Frostbite. I kind of want to give my opponent Frostbite. The Frostbite token might actually be something that's detrimental. Maybe it causes them to take critical damage if they're frozen and you hit them and they shatter, like a block of ice or something like that. Maybe it slows them down so they can't get Go Again next turn. There's a ton of different options, but it seems like this concept of a Frostbite token might not be a buff, but maybe a debuff or a nerf that you can put on your opponents. There's tons of ways this can play. I think this is very interesting because this seems to lean into this concept of a ranger firing multiple arrows that we've talked about, and it's got a way to turn that on easily. It's got this mystery mechanic, guys. Lexie is hype. We're excited to play her. What do you guys think? I truly think that around here, we're saying the Frostbite token might be a detriment. So we're very excited to see that. So that's Lexie Livewire. And to go along with Lexie, we got the token weapon spoiled for Lexie, and that weapon is Shiver. So Shiver has an ability once per turn instant. For 1 resource, you may put an arrow card from your hand face up into an empty arsenal zone you control. If you do, choose one. It gains +1 or it gains Dominate. So guys, this is huge because it has a very, very particular wording for the arsenal zone. It's you may put an arrow card from your hand face up into an empty arsenal zone. Does this indicate that there will be more than one arsenal zone? Guys, is the quiver that was talked about on Hometown TCG way back when we didn't even know what heroes were spoilered in Monarch, we thought maybe there was a ranger, is that quiver, that extra arsenal slot, is it coming? Who knows? This is going to be exciting. Other than that, this weapon does seem to be a little interesting without knowing the other interactions it could have with cards in the set, any new equipment, things like that. It seems a bit underwhelming. You having to pay a resource to put an arrow in your arsenal, and then presumably if you have another floating resource from what you paid, be able to fire that resource. You know, you can't use it and trigger Lexie. You can't turn something that's face down or face up already face up, so it doesn't get go again necessarily. It's very interesting. It'll be used to do the second arrow off go again. So if you turn the first one face up with Lexie, you can use Shiver to then fire another arrow if it already had go again, if it was a lightning arrow, things of that. Dominate is interesting. It seems to be a much easier way to get Dominate and kind of push through some of these awesome ranger hit effects. So that effect is very neat. So guys, there's a lot that can happen with Shiver, but the big thing to unpack here, the big mind-blowing moment for us here is the whole an arsenal zone. Are we seeing multiple arsenal zones? I think it's time. I don't know how that's going to play. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I think we might be seeing multiple arsenal zones. And then moving on to our final spoiler here, it is a Weave Lightning. And I haven't credited any of the spoilers because I have tried to keep myself away from spoiler content so far because I don't want, other people's ideas. I don't want to regurgitate stuff like that. But I believe that this one was Kitchen Table TCG. Louis over at Kitchen Table TCG, his spoiler. And guys, it is fitting that he got one of what I consider to be, just from looking at this, the coolest looking cards that I have seen in a long time, guys. Weave Lightning, the art on this, imagine it in a foil or something like that, or even in a promo. This card is gorgeous. It is stunning. I don't normally get into the art of cards. I'm more of a gameplay guy myself, but the art on this card is fantastic. So congrats to Louis over at Kitchen Table TCG. This card is absolutely sick. So Weave Lightning costs 0. It's an action. It says the next lightning or elemental attack card you play this turn gains +3. If it's fused, it gains go again, and then has go again itself. So now, happens every spoiler season, we have been introduced with this random keyword that we have never heard before called fused. And of course, I put on my tinfoil hat and I have a theory. Fused is the ability to smash different elements together, right? Elemental being your talent, and then the essence of elements, whether it's essence of ice or essence of lightning or whatever other elements it might be, you may have abilities to smash those together and get both effects. Meaning, instead of shooting a lightning arrow or a frost arrow, you shoot a lightning frost arrow. Guys, it seems like there's a ton of hoops you're going to have to jump through to do these things. So whatever it is that you've got to do, it better be powerful and it better be cheap. Because if you don't have the resource, if you got to take all this damage just to do these things, oh, that'll be brutal. But this is absolutely exciting. This is the best part of the spoiler season where we kind of just throw all our theories out. We see what sticks. We kind of get the gears going. We get the juices flowing, guys. Let us know what you think about these spoilers in the comments below. follow along again. Remember to click the sub button. Remember to visit us on Patreon and join our Discord. Play games. We're playing games all the time. A big shout out and thank you to all of our existing patrons. Now this list has actually grown. We have a bunch of new patrons, so we have to add those to the list. This list will update probably once a week, so just be on the lookout for that. And again, thank you to all those guys. Visit us on Patreon. Subscribe here. Let us know what you think about these spoilers. And until next time, guys, my name is Josh, and we're going to see you when we just got more to talk about with Tales of Aria. Goodbye.